Okay, so I struggled with what I would say, how I would say it. So I'll do my best. I apologize. Monday, I had a pretty traumatic accident, and Pastor Bob had asked afterwards if I would say something to try to give kind of a witness to the power that God has. And initially, I was reluctant because, A, I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. Not that I don't want to share it. I do share it on a one-on-one basis, but I don't like to look at, hey, look at me kind of a thing. And I also was still a little traumatized by it, quite literally. But the picture you see behind you is my shop, and that trailer was the trailer I was working on, and it was initially up on the rack where those arms are. Sorry. Where the arms are there is where that trailer was, which doesn't belong there. And what had happened was I was servicing that's my trailer, a second trailer I had that was given to me, and I was putting an axle on it. And the wheels are really close to the arms on that. That's an older rack, so there's not a safety to hold those arms in place, but the weight of a car, you can not move those arms. But a trailer is a little lighter, but it's still 1,800 pounds. Trying to move the wheel towards the back here, and that arm came out. I was under the trailer. When that happened, the trailer basically came and fell down completely on me. It kind of went in stages. It hit me on the head. Right across here, there's like a support bar that you can't see, but it's pretty sharp. And I had a break all the way across my head, which basically set me down to the ground initially. I'm sorry if I'm not getting on the mic here. And that basically put me in a position under the trailer where it was collapsed on top of me. Now you can go ahead and go to the second slide. The second one, if we get it to come up. Not that one. Yeah. Oops. There it is. There it is. So this area is axles. That's where I was. It's 14 inches. I went back and measured it. And in that 14 inches, I'll try to show you what it did because I want you to understand. This will make a point in a second. I want you to understand why, A, it's a miracle I survived. It's a miracle I got out of it. Where that's sitting I was down basically in this position with this leg completely forward, this leg completely behind me. Initially, I thought my shoulder was here, but after looking at my shoulder, it was like this in a 14-inch space. I'm still here. And B, in that moment, the only thing I could think of was, God, don't let me go out like this. I don't want my wife to find me like this. Because men have been found under cars. And in that moment, somehow I mustered the strength. And you got to keep in mind that what you saw, I don't have any leverage. This is 1,800 pounds. I don't have leverage. But I lifted that shoulder, pulled it off, and pulled this leg underneath me, and then got on my belly in that spot right there. 10 minutes later, a parts guy comes by to deliver parts. That wasn't expected because this is Monday, and I was alone. I didn't order those parts. My helper did, but he had left. And I very calmly called out and said, bring a jack over and lift this up. He didn't know what he was getting into, which he did. And they got the front of the trailer, which you can't see, but that's fine. And I got out of that second axle, crawled under there. But as this gentleman is helping me out, my wife comes by. She has no idea. And she's seeing this for the first time. I wanted to tell her later, but she's seeing it for the first time. And I get out, I explain everything that happened, and I pay the parts guy and thank him and send him on his way, and I'm hurt, but I'm okay. I'm walking. I go home and take a shower, and my wife is convincing me to go to the hospital, which I was going to go, but she's like, just go. They do a CT scan, they do x-rays, all of this. There's nothing wrong. So I want to thank you for those who prayed. I want you to know that God is real. And I wanted to say, I didn't want to focus on this accident because, the thing I focused on was why me? Why did I survive when so many do not? And I want to flip that into not why me, but what next? Because I know there are many people who have had losses and hurts. And I can only say to you that God is real, and this is the proof that I have. And he is there no matter what you're going through. Thank you.
I just want to add a couple things real quickly. As a wife, anyone who has a husband that works in a field that where they could be physically harmed, I think any wife knows and understands that feeling of sending her husband out every day, and there's that worry in the back of your mind. I've always had that worry that Kenny works alone in the shop, that he would get hurt. And so I just kind of want to walk you through real quickly my perspective. When I walked into that shop, I heard him talking calmly to the parts guy, and it took me a full minute or so to realize that he was pinned under the trailer, because I've walked in the shop many times and he's under a car and he's got him up on floor jacks. You know, floor jacks are short. And I thought he had the trailer up on floor jacks. So when I walked in, I was nervous, but he was talking calmly. And I thought, well, the front of the trailer must have come off of the floor jacks, because the trailer, the front of the trailer that attaches to the truck was sitting on 2 tires. And I've seen Kenny work on cars many times. If it's something lighter, like a trailer, I've seen him hold up the front with tires. So I made these assumptions, and I'm trying to stay calm and help the parts guy focus on getting this floor jack underneath a part of the trailer to crank it up off of him. And we did, and he got out. And I just kind of tried to keep my own anxieties at bay. I didn't want to upset him. And as he starts telling me the story, that's when I realized that the trailer had been clear up on the lift. I thought it was on floor jacks, and that's when the reality started hitting me that this thing fell on top of him from a long ways up. And as he told this story, I thought, we both crawled under the trailer, and I at some point I made a comment to Kenny. I said, "Man, it's really a good thing that you put those tires on the floor right there." And he goes, "I didn't put those tires on the floor." He had been going around loosening lug nuts, and as the trailer was accordioning down off that rack, the tires fell off in just the right spot to keep that trailer up off of him. So I just want to place an emphasis on there's a lot of things that happened that day that just cannot be explained other than a miracle. So